Gregory Mahalik, FTH 223. This is May the 5th for week 2, part 2 module. As you can see, we have no feed source of ammunition in the firearm. We can visually look and physically look in the chamber, and we have no source of ammunition in there as well. So for part 1, we have our SAR B6 that we were sent for this program. Part 2, going into locating the Gun Digest Exploded Gun Drawings Manual, find online schematic, watch videos, borrow friends. Looked into the Gun Digest Exploded Gun Drawings that was provided in the course textbook. Required resources and stuff for this class. The SARs aren't even in there at all. There's not a single SAR model. So I went and resourced the SAR manual that came with the firearm. Page 34 is our B6 Exploded View, and parts list on page 335. SAR on here, this firearm, it says on the right side since 1880. It's not a really well-known firearm. A lot of people have never heard of them. So they've been around. They're just, marketing's bad. Other stuff outmarkets them. They're new to the United States. There's multiple factors in it, but there's not a lot of information really. When I've looked online, I looked a lot online before receiving this firearm in the class, just trying to get more information, kind of see what it was. I never heard of it. Really a lot out there. I did shoot this on Thursday. It's very snappy in the front end. My XDS 9 shoots better. My P365 shoots better than this. I got a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380. It shoots better than this. I got some smaller Taurus. They shoot better than this. Yes, I know it's 380 versus 9mm, but still, I have smaller firearms that shoot better than this firearm. It's not a firearm that I would recommend to anybody. Don't like it. Teach their own, though. So part 1, SAR. Part 2, we got our schematics through the owner's manual. So part 3, components, assemblies, in the firearm that may cause issues. Articulate why you feel this way. Failure to lock, failure to unlock, and failure to feed. We have 3 that we're going over for the curriculum. Failure to lock. Chamber forward. Close fully. Multiple issues can cause a failure to lock. We can have excessive headspace. So the too little headspace, so the round is not fully seating, allowing us to partly stay open. We have a dirty chamber, hindering that round to fully seat, causing it to full lockup. We have broken recoil spring, so on that drive home, that spring pressure is not enough to fully lock the firearm. We could have excessive dirt, grit, and the slide rails of this causing friction. If we are having a failure to lock after shooting around, we could have low pressure grounds. We could have also a shooter issue where they're not gripping the firearm right, allowing that inertia to channel to recoil, and to not channel through the slide to allow slide movement to allow to read forward. Also, in failure to lock, you also have lockup at the rear for your last round holdback. And this is done by the takedown lever. It's here on this left side. There's spring pressure to push the takedown lever down, and our magazine follower is what pushes it up. So failure to lock here could be because of a worn takedown lever. It could be worn because of the slide as well. It could also be magazine failure. So a customer comes in and asks, firearm won't lock. Is it locking closed chamber, or are we having a failure to lock fully open on last round holdback or with an empty magazine in the firearm? So one thing we want to get clear and make sure we have the right information before we dive into the firearm. Failure to unlock. Unlock can also be due to a low pressure round. Not enough energy and blowback to cause the firearm to open. We can also have failure to unlock from dirt, grit, excessive friction, overriding the inertia to drive the round back. Shooter preference problem as well. Not having enough inertia to unlock the slide fully to eject the round. Going into failure to feed, it's going to be magazine. That is going to be the main reason we have a failure to feed. We have an internal magazine spring broken because we don't have a mag in the firearm. We could have the feed lips on the magazine are compressed, causing too much friction and pressure on that round, so the slide cannot grab that round and go up. We can also have barrel issues, to where our feed ramp is not polished for hollow points. So one thing you want to ask customers, does it feed full metal jackets fine? Yes, but it doesn't feed hollow points though, or personal defense round. So we want to ask those questions when we get the firearm so we can accurately diagnose it and fix it for the customer. The more information we have, the better. Failure to feed could also be due to slide problems. We have internal issues in the firearm on our another failure to feed could also be our magazine release, magazine catch in here. If the magazine is not fully seated, that can cause a fire to feed as well. So part 4, evaluate understanding for your instructor. Was assessment superficial? Did you dig deep and really try to understand the inner workings of this platform? What resources did you rely on? Relied on just reviewing the exploded firearms and knowledge of firearms, how they operate, how they work internally, going over some high points of what could cause the most common failures that you're going to see? Are there stuff that can further break down in issues like a hammer seizing up, causing the slide not to go to the rear? And it doesn't even take me that much pressure on my thumb, causing that slide not to go back. Having a seizure in there can cause that failure to unlock. What can you do in the future to develop a deeper understanding of these concepts? Just becoming more familiar with more models of firearms. The more you know, the better you can serve your customers. Always studying resource manufacturer information. Methodically go through the firearms when they come in. Ask the right questions to the customer. Get the customer's contact information. Don't be scared to call the customer and get clarification. Keep in touch with the customer. The more you can get from them, you might call them later and go, oh yes, I do remember. This actually was, I told you incorrect when I dropped it off. Well, that can help you, point you in the right direction to accurately diagnose and fix the firearm in a timely manner. So going through step by step, run through the cycle operations with dummy ammunition, isolate the problem, tear the firearm down, fix the problem, put it back into service, and retest. But that concludes Module 2, Week 2 assignment.